Hello and welcome to the Couch Potato Multiverse. If you're here for this video, then like me, you're either a huge Marvel fan or someone who wants to explore the MCU before watching Deadpool and Wolverine, or someone who has just watched the movie and now wants to relate to the references, or maybe you want to just recap the magic of MCU. Well, no worries, we're here to help you all. Okay, to begin with, if we're going to understand the entire cinematic universe featuring Marvel characters, we would need to break down the production houses into three big bosses. Starting with Marvel itself, we have Marvel Studios owned by Disney that gave you hits like Iron Man, Captain America, The Avengers, and so on. Then we have Fox Studios, who introduced the X-Men, Deadpool, Daredevil, Elektra, the Fantastic Four, and we have Sony, who gave us mostly the Spider-Man universe and Ghost Rider. So we're going to begin with Sony since the list is pretty small as compared to the others. They gave us an introduction into the Spider-Man universe, which made Peter Parker a global phenomenon in 2002. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is still considered by most fans to be the best yet performance for the role. His character was followed by Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man in 2012, and we later saw some side characters from the world of Spider-Man make debut on the big screen, including Venom, the success of which is still debatable, followed by Morbius, and most recently Madam Web. Both were box office bombs. The current Spider-Man, that is Tom Holland's version, is although within the MCU, but the distribution rights remain with Sony. And besides the current movies, there are two more movies planned within the Spider-Man universe by Sony itself. One is Venom: The Last Dance and Kraven the Hunter, both slated to release later this year. Those of you who've played the Marvel game on PS4 or PS5, Spider-Man 2, they know about Kraven as well as about Venom. Now, besides Spider-Man, Sony also introduced the live-action Ghost Rider, which featured Nicolas Cage as Johnny Blaze, aka the Ghost Rider, who's a motorcycle stuntman who is tricked into making a deal with the demon lord Mephisto, thinking that it will save his father from dying, and is subsequently bound to an ancient demon transformed into a supernatural fiery skeletal soul hunter, the Ghost Rider. And as his work for Mephisto continues, he hunts down the demons which have escaped from hell. Johnny Blaze's adventures continues in Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance that was released in 2011. And the disastrous reception of the movie most likely led Cage to call it quits on the character, and the movie rights went back to Marvel Studios, which led to the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider that appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, before we dive into Fox, we'd like to do an honorary mention to New Line Cinema, which is owned by Warner Bros., that gave us the Blade series. Introduced in 1998, we saw Wesley Snipes' Blade for the first time, and Blade Trinity, that is the last of the trilogy, was released in 2004. That was when we saw Wesley Snipes' Blade for the last time. Or was it? Moving to Fox and some other studios that captured Marvel characters, their roads to Marvel began with X-Men in 2000. That movie gave us some of the most iconic characters known in the superhero industry today, such as Wolverine, Professor X, Magneto, among others. They followed it up with X2 in 2003, the same year when they also came up with Ben Affleck's Daredevil. And needless to say, that portrayal was met by huge disappointment among the fans, leading to an early close to that franchise. And that was also the same year when Universal Pictures released their version of Hulk played by Eric Bana. In 2004, Lionsgate Films introduced the fans to The Punisher, followed by Fox releasing two Marvel movies in 2005, one from the Daredevil franchise, Elektra, featuring Jennifer Garner taking up her role again, and Fantastic Four. That was the first appearance of the group where we also saw Chris Evans for the first time as a Marvel superhero. Nope, that's the wrong one, not Cap. He played Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. and also the brother of Susan Storm, Invisible Woman, played by Jessica Alba. They released the last part of the X Men trilogy, The Last Stand, in 2006. The movie's ending met with huge disappointment among the crowd, but the series was later saved by the 2011 edition of the X Men, The First Class. First Class featured the gang in their younger days when the professor could still walk and was best friends with Magneto and Mystique. And we are also introduced to a lot of other mutants like Sebastian Shaw, Azazel, Riptide, Angel, Banshee, and so on. In between the two, Fox released Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer in 2007, along with X Men Origins Wolverine in 2009. From then on, they continued the two X Men series side by side, with the Wolverine releasing in 2013, followed by X Men Days of Future Past in 2014. Following that, in 2015, that is the year before the world witnessed the first live action Deadpool, Fox thought to remake Fantastic Four with a new cast and a new storyline. Regardless to say, the movie was a big flop, following which the rights to Fantastic Four were acquired by Disney in 2019. Along with Deadpool, the amazingly well received anti hero flick by Fox, they also released a third installation of the Younger X Men Apocalypse in 2016. Now, this movie brought in the younger versions of many other well known mutants like Storm, Cyclops, among others. And throughout these series, you would notice special appearances by Wolverine or Logan in various states but of the same age. Now, Logan in 2017 put a stop to the Wolverine trilogy with the tragic death by sacrifice of the hero, creating a stage for X-23, Wolverine's daughter, played by Daphne Keane. But Fox was not done. They released Deadpool 2 in 2018 and Dark Phoenix in 2019. Now, Dark Phoenix takes on the story of the young Jean Grey from X-Men, who was highly troubled due to the immense potential of her powers, and was portrayed by Sophie Turner. Following the box office bomb in the form of New Mutants, Fox sold most of its assets, including 20th Century Fox, to Disney in 2019. And that created a humongous roar in the world of movies, comics, and media because this meant that now the X Men, Deadpool, and Fantastic Four are all under the MCU. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, and the one that I have been dying to talk about, the MCU. To begin with, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has divided itself into various phases. And to honor that, I'm going to tell you the right order to watch all the MCU movies and series according to these phases. Starting with phase 1, we have Iron Man, where we witness Tony Stark's journey from a genius billionaire playboy to a superhero, followed by the Incredible Hulk, where Bruce Banner's struggle with his inner monster and his attempts to control it can be seen. Then Iron Man 2, where we continue with Tony Stark as he faces new threats and solidifies his role as Iron Man, followed by Thor, wherein we explore the realm of Asgard and Thor, the Norse god's journey to becoming worthy of his hammer. Captain America the First Avenger takes up after Thor to see Steve Rogers' transformation into Captain America and his fight against Hydra during World War II, and Marvel's Avengers to see Earth's mightiest heroes assemble for the first time on the big screen to face the threat of Loki and the Chitauri invention. Then come on to Phase 2, that incorporates Iron Man 3, where Tony Stark deals with the aftermath of the Battle of New York and faces new enemies, Thor in the Dark World, in which Thor returns to Asgard to face a new threat from the Dark Elves, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, now Steve Rogers is working with S.H.I.E.L.D., uncovers a conspiracy that puts the entire world at risk, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy, where the new group is introduced, a group of misfits who band together to protect a powerful orb from falling into the wrong hands. Finally, we get to Avengers 2, that is Avengers Age of Ultron. The Avengers face a new threat in the form of Ultron, an AI gone rogue thanks to Tony. And finally, Ant-Man, where we meet Scott Lang, who takes up the mantle of Ant-Man to pull off a heist that will save the world. Moving on to Phase 3, we have Captain America Civil War. The Avengers split into factions over government oversight, leading to an epic showdown, followed by Doctor Strange to discover the mystical side of the MCU with Doctor Stephen Strange's journey from surgeon to a sorcerer supreme. Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that continues the adventures of the Guardians as they unravel Peter Quill's true parentage. Then we are introduced to the MCU Spider-Man for the first time, Spider-Man Homecoming, where we follow Peter Parker as he navigates high school and his new role as Spider-Man under Tony Stark's mentorship. Followed by Thor Ragnarok. Here Thor teams up with the Hulk to save Asgard from Hela and prevent Ragnarok. Here we also get to know why Thor and Hulk were both absent from the ultimate divide between the Avengers in Captain America Civil War. Then we have Black Panther, which follows the events of Captain America Civil War, where T'Challa returns to Wakanda to take his place as king, and he faces new challenges to his rule. Avengers Infinity War, that is the third Avengers in the series, where the Avengers face their biggest threat yet as Thanos seeks to gather all the Infinity Stones, followed by Ant-Man and the Wasp, where Scott Lang teams up with Hope Van Dyne as they search for her mother in the quantum realm. Then we are introduced to Captain Marvel, wherein we meet Carol Danvers and discover her origins as one of the most powerful heroes that is set in the 90s. And finally, we have the last Avengers in the Infinity Saga, that is Avengers Endgame. The remaining Avengers regroup for one final stand against Thanos to undo the devastation he caused. And to close Phase 3, we have Spider-Man Far From Home, where Peter Parker deals with the aftermath of Endgame and he takes on a new threat during a school trip to Europe. Now, finally, we dive into the multiverse saga that began with Phase 4. Now, we begin with the series called WandaVision, where we explore Wanda Maximoff's journey as she creates a new reality to cope with her grief. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where we follow Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes as they navigate their new roles in a post-Endgame world. Now, Loki Season 1, where Loki's adventures after escaping with the Tesseract are shown, which leads to a confrontation with the Time Variance Authority or the TVA. And then we have Black Widow, where we see Natasha Romanoff confronting her dark past and reuniting with her surrogate family. Then we have What If Season 1 and 2, where we explore alternate realities and pivotal moments from the MCU, where small changes create big differences. Then we are introduced to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, where we discover the origins and rise of the superhero as he confronts the mysterious Ten Rings organization. Then there's Eternals, wherein we meet the ancient beings who have been living on Earth for thousands of years as they face a new threat. And the final movie in the Spider-Man trilogy, Spider-Man No Way Home, wherein we see Peter Parker's identity is revealed that leads him to seek help from Doctor Strange and face multiversal challenges. Then we go to Hawkeye, a series on Disney Plus, wherein we see Clint Barton as he trains a new protege, Kate Bishop, while dealing with his own past. Then we have Moon Knight, another series discovering the story of Mark Spector, a former mercenary with dissociative identity disorder who becomes the vigilante Moon Knight. Then we have Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, where we see the Doctor navigating to multiverse to deal with the fallout of No Way Home and Wanda's actions in WandaVision. Then we have another series called Miss Marvel, where we follow Kamala Khan, who is a teenage superhero fan, as she discovers her own powers and takes on the mantle of Miss Marvel. And after that, then we have Thor Love and Thunder, where Thor teams up with Valkyrie and Jane Foster to face a new cosmic threat known as Gore, which to me was an ultimate letdown. I'm sorry, I'm a huge MCU fan, but Thor Love and Thunder did not happen for me. Then another disappointment, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, where we see Jennifer Walters, who's a lawyer and cousin of Bruce Banner, juggling her career and her new powers as She-Hulk. Although a fun take at She-Hulk, but overall the CGI could have been way, way, way better, and frankly I was a bit disappointed. Then we have Werewolf by Night. A monster hunter uncovers his own supernatural legacy in this horror-inspired MCU tale. A must-watch, and do watch it in black and white. That was the original shot. Then we have Wakanda Forever. The people of Wakanda fight to protect their home in the wake of King T'Challa's death shortly after the king's real death. And the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, where the Guardians embark on a festive adventure to make Christmas special for Star-Lord. Finally, coming on to the Phase 5, that is the current phase that we are in right now, that began with the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, where Scott and Hope explore the quantum realm and face new adversaries. Moving on to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the final edition of the Guardians, where they face new challenges as they protect the galaxy from cosmic threats one last time. Then we have Secret Invasion, another series on Disney Plus, where we see Nick Fury and Talos uncover a secret Skrull invasion of Earth. The Marvels, which follow the adventures of Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau from WandaVision as they team up to face a cosmic threat. Followed by Echo, another series where we follow Maya Lopez, who's a deaf martial artist, as she navigates her past and future. Then we have Loki Season 2, where Loki continues his journey with the TVA to face new multiverse challenges. And finally, Deadpool and Wolverine, wherein the Merc with the Mouth is back and he makes his MCU debut with his signature blend of humor and action, and of course, Wolverine. Now, they do have a couple of more movies planned in this phase. One is Captain America Brave New World, and then there's Thunderbolts. Both are slated to release next year in February and May, respectively. Marvel Studios has also announced some of the Phase 6 movies to be released between 2025 and 2027. The Fantastic Four First Steps in July 25, Blade in November 25, Avengers Doomsday in May 26, followed by Avengers Secret Wars in May 27, and I'm super hyped up for Avengers Secret Wars and now even for Doomsday, because for some of you who like to live under the rock, there were two huge announcements regarding the upcoming two Avengers movies at the recent SDCC. Number one, guess who's coming back to play Doctor Doom? Ding ding ding, it's none other than Robert Downey Jr., aka Iron Man. And number two, the Russo brothers are back to direct both the Avengers movies. And if you don't know who they were the ones who made the Infinity Saga or Phases 1 to 3 the huge success that it was. Now, we will be covering all of these movies separately in the following videos. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and stay tuned for more Marvel and sometimes other comic book content. But before we go, we'd like to ask you a small question regarding the MCU. For how many years was Steve Rogers trapped under the ice? Leave your answers in the comments below and we'll share the actual answer in the next video. Until next time.